Ladies and gentlemen of the YSN universe, after a couple scheduling conflicts, I welcome a friend, a co-worker, the one and only Toluwa. Introduce yourself, man.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on this YouTube channel. I've actually been looking forward to it for some time now, but like you said, the conflict and scheduling and all that, but we're here, so that's all that matters.
You're right, man. I was telling him before we got on, like this man has already the advanced setup. I'm over here just in my basement. He got the camera, the gaming headset. He's ready. But Toluwa, bro, introduce yourself to the people. Give a little background about your upbringing, what has life been for Toluwa till today in an elevator pitch sort of summary.
All right, cool. So yeah, I'm Toluwa. I was born and raised in Maryland. Um, I went to the University of Maryland for my undergrad. I studied broadcast journalism, and I recently got my master's degree from Syracuse in broadcast journalism. So, telling stories, being impactful in people's lives, that's kind of always what I've wanted to do. And I was able to do that through school and then now working with Yanni at NBC Sports. So we're able to kind of just put our say in storytelling and stuff like that. So it's really cool. I'm a big footy fan, always been since I was like 5 or 6. My dad put me onto it, and I'll always be grateful for that. Manchester United fan all the way. Sorry, Liverpool. I gotta say Red Devils all the way, man. Even though we suck right now.
I
Uh,
wouldn't say all that.
no, we suck. We suck, bro. We suck.
Rashi's
Look,
back. Rashi.
Rashi's back. Ronaldo's in the mud.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, I guess just my life, I don't know. It's easy to say like life's been smooth and stuff, but it definitely hasn't. Definitely gone through my ups and downs. School has been I feel like school has been kind of a breeze though, because journalism was something that I always wanted to do and feel like I'm kind of naturally gifted in it. So that's something that's cool. That's why I'm glad I'm able to meet new people every day and tell stories every day. Um, I don't know. I'm not really like the most interesting person, bro. Like I
good
just
people,
kind of
man.
I kind of stay in my lane and do my thing. But when people get to know me, like, you guys to know me a little bit, like, I'm pretty chill. So
Mhm.
it is what it is.
Man, you the only dude I know that has his master's degree, and that's our age. So that's for sure something interesting. But
Appreciate
that's
you.
what you were saying earlier about how you've known, like, you've kind of always wanted to do this. I literally just had this exact conversation with my mom yesterday. We were going to Costco, and I was just like driving her, and we are just talking. And she goes, Yanni, like, I find it really interesting that, like, not a lot of people your age, not a lot of them know what they want to do, but you've wanted to do this since you were a little kid. And it's just,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's the same way it was with you.
Yeah.
Was there a certain moment that you were like, okay, I want to do this. I want to become a sports journalist? Or was that just like ever since as long as you can remember, this is what you wanted to do?
Man, let me tell you, the first time that they brought Premier League coverage, other than like Fox Soccer Channel, I don't know if you used to remember those channels, like
Mhm.
Fox Soccer Channel and Gold TV.
Gold TV,
Yo,
man.
like those were the days. But though, like in those days, like it would be Premier League games over like American commentary.
Mhm.
So it wasn't something that I was really like into. But then they brought it to NBC Sports,
Mhm.
and with like Rebecca Lowe, Robbie Earl, like they were the OGs.
Yeah, yeah.
And ever since then, that was like what, 2011, 2012. Ever since
Around there,
then,
yeah.
yeah, that's when I knew like, all right, this is what I want to do.
Mhm.
Like I've always been interested in not just leagues, not just players, but like entire organizations. Like there was a point in time where like I was so into like the soccer world that I could literally name any player off the top of my head. I could name what they did this year, what they did that year. Obviously, I was younger, so I had a lot of time on my hands. And now it's not the same because you got to actually think about real life.
Mhm.
But that was definitely the moment I knew. Let me turn this off. That was definitely the moment I knew. And ever since then, bro, I've been grinding, trying to get to that point. And
Mhm.
I've been told, I'm gonna tell you this, I've been told along the way, even at Syracuse, bro, I've been told like, oh, you're probably not gonna do it. Oh, like you gotta be an ex-professional to do this, to do that. And
Mhm.
I'm like, what's the point of like records if they can't be broken? What's
Exactly.
the point of stuff being like set in precedent if somebody new can't like come over and take over? So I don't know. My goal right now is to just prove my doubters wrong
Mhm.
and just do great things for myself.
And going off of that, part of the conversation I was having yesterday with my mom as well, we were
Yeah.
talking about, just like my upbringing. Like, obviously, we've had this conversation before about how we both, men of God, and like we go to church and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when I would be at church and we go to coffee hour after service, be like, "Hey, Yanni, what are your plans? What are you doing for college?" And I have to give them yeah, I'm looking to be like a sports broadcaster, sports analyst. And they hit me with the, "Oh, you want to get into that field? That's a really hard field. It's really
Yeah.
competitive." And then like you got to sit there and be like, "All right, so they're basically telling me I can't do this, like ish, can't do this ish."
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like obviously, like you said before, what's the point of records that not meant to be broken? And my good friend Eric, shout out Eric Wilson, he said the same thing. He goes, "Don't ever set a limit. The sky isn't the limit because there's always something more."
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get to the
Exactly.
point where it's like I get so far that I don't even remember where we at right now.
Exactly.
And that's not no shade to where we at right now. I love where we at. I think it's we talked about this before. I
Yeah,
think it's a great building block for where we want to go, especially both of us.
for sure.
So, but yeah, it's proven doubters is like obviously there's not a line of haters outside my door, but it's like it's that it's the side comments and like the snarky stuff that gets you to be like, no, they really don't think I can do this, bro. So now you get
Exactly.
wrong.
And adding on to that, bro, it's just like you said, there's not a line of haters outside your door, but like people are watching you.
Oh yeah.
Like people are watching us and they're like, man, I wish I could be there. It
Mm-hmm.
might not like right now, I kind of think of it as like it's a great starting point, but it's like kind of humble beginnings. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this isn't what we want to do ultimately. But people would rather like people would want to be in our position right now. Like
For
I know
sure.
a lot of people that would definitely want to be in our position at our age.
Mm-hmm.
That like there are people that come into a position like this and they're probably like 26, 27.
Yeah.
And this is where they want it to be. And it's just like, all right, I mean, that's you. Never knock your goals, never knock that. But like you said, the sky isn't the limit.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I'm trying to go to Jupiter. I'm trying to go to Saturn, bro. Like I'm trying to beat all the odds, not just to prove like yeah, I said I want to prove my doubters wrong, but at the end of the day, like I really want to do this for me and kind of build a legacy.
For
And
sure. That's what I said in my article. I was like, I want people to remember me not only for my accomplishments, but for what I've done just in life in terms of like
exactly.
how I've been and who like how I've treated the people around me. But going back to that earlier, like how people want to be in our position right now, I was telling you, I was like, I would go to my teachers after class and like and they tell me like, yeah, probably have to start out at a small market. My first job was in like some random place in South Carolina or Portsmouth, Virginia, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I got more aspirations of that, and that's no knock to because you can get to the top still by going that route. But I just saw myself doing something bigger than that, and like you said, like this is not really what we want to do. Like we want to be the guys talking, like that's what we want to do, but and we have to do it in order to get to where we at. You think I want to be yelled at on ISQ? like so for the people that don't know, ISQ is what's it stand for, bro? I don't even remember.
I don't even remember what it stands for.
But it's the like so when they like in the control room of the TV when
Yeah.
they tell you to fire like a graphic, they're like, okay, CG1 fire. You're the guy that presses that button and puts a graphic on the TV.
Yeah.
You think I want to be getting yelled at in ISQ doing this, man? It's something we got to do. Something so we got to get
Yeah.
out. But yeah, man. Let's go back to your time at Syracuse. Obviously, one of the best schools in the country, arguably the best school in the country for journalism.
Yeah.
You told me out there that you were kind of simply strictly like doing school. Like it wasn't a lot to do in Syracuse. But however, you did land this internship and you did do a documentary. Tell the people about that, man.
Yeah. So like you said, Syracuse, you know, I Syracuse is like a love-hate relationship for me because the journalism program was excellent. Like I won't even lie to you. The way that they teach you, the way that they motivate you, the way that they work with you to try and be the best journalist that you can is second to none. And I went to UMD and their journalism program is like top five too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like comparing, contrasting to UMD, and UMD was great, but like I mean, Syracuse is really next level. But while during my time at Syracuse, I did a lot. At UMD, I didn't really do like the out of class stuff. I didn't really do extracurriculars. So when I went to Syracuse, I was like, I gotta make the most of my time. It was only a 1 year program, so I just joined a whole bunch of like organizations. Like I was writing for Sports Illustrated. I was an analyst for ACC Network. Like I was just really trying to put myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, we were learning how to do local news and like all that regular stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of it, I actually got a job offer from this radio station in Baltimore, but it didn't work out. And at first I was kind of upset about it, but then I realized like that wasn't even what I wanted to do in the first place. Like I always knew I had a goal. So like you mentioned, I was blessed and fortunate enough to still have the internship with Rochester, New York Football Club, which is this I want to call it a professional team. They're a professional team, but they're playing in the third tier of the MLS. So I was able to go there and be like a content producer slash creator. And I was writing stories for them. I was interviewing players. I was interviewing fans. I was doing a lot. I eventually made the documentary. The thing is, like, I did that on my own accord. Like, they didn't ask me to do it. They didn't ask me to, at the end of the 6 weeks, I was only there for 6 weeks. They were like, all right, we want this, this, and that. Like, they were just like, we want you guys to express your creativity. And since you're from Syracuse, we kind of already have an idea of what you're able to produce, but let's see what you can do.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I want to make this documentary because the story is there. It's just like, who's going to tell it? So I made it. It was hard, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I shot it all on my iPhone.
Hmm.
And I have this camera that I'm using right now. It's a DSLR, but I was like, you know what? I want this to be different. I want it to be a little bit more unique because everybody's using high tier cameras. Why not just go out on a limb and use my iPhone? So I literally just did that. Got the interviews. Everybody was super nice. They helped me get the content that I wanted. It wasn't forced. It was just they were willing to take time out of their day to let me talk to them. So, and like I said, it was hard. I did it by myself. I had help from the other intern, but he didn't really do nothing. And shout out to you, bro. Like you're my man's, but like it was me. Like I
Yeah.
was pretty much doing everything.
Hmm.
Um, so that was in of itself like that was a learning experience. Being able to do everything on your own. You don't have a crew, you don't have nothing. You are your crew. And like you got to come up with the ideas. And if somebody says something in an interview that doesn't kind of correlate with what you're looking for, you got to ask another question on the fly
Hmm.
and just hope that they would like give you the right
Digging for
answer.
that answer, man. You're digging for
Yeah.
that one clip. I feel that.
So it was, I mean, I thank God, bro. I thank God because without him, there was no way I was getting that done.
Hmm.
And then the editing process, like I'm not even gonna go through the whole editing process, but it was a 5 minute documentary. It took me 2 whole days, not like back to back, but like 48 hours of time to
Hmm.
edit 5 minutes, bro. Like at some points, I was like, I'm done. Like I don't even want to do this anymore. I was ready to turn in some BS. But my mom, she just kept encouraging me. She was like, man, you already got this far. Why not?
Yeah.
So um one day, I just hope that like right now the documentary, a lot of people have seen it, and a lot of people have liked it, but I'm hoping that one day it'll just get to the right hands and they're like, you know what, we want you for this, we want you for that. So
Bro, first of all, I'm gonna put that documentary in the description down below for sure.
thank
But
you.
I watched it and it's like it was a real, those oh dude, the ones that they do on NBC. Oh no, not NBC, the Premier League YouTube channel that they'd be like doing
Yes.
season previews. I
Yes.
kind of got those vibes from it. I was like, yo, you got the close-up interviews of the coaches and stuff like that,
Yeah.
the training shots. I was like, damn, man, Toluwa official with it.
Took a lot of work, but thank God.
Yeah, man. And speaking of, you know, God himself. How we already talked about this too, because shout out our boy Mike. I remember me, Talua, and Mike, we went in for work one day, and after we got finished with work, there's an upstairs cafe on the second floor. We went, got our food, sitting down talking, and we was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna talk for a little bit. But we sat there for like, I don't know, like and maybe an hour and like 15, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
just talking about life, all this type of stuff. And Talua brought up how, he's a very religious guy. And I've seen it from your Instagram stories too. I mean, it's kind of like a cliche question, I guess, but how did you get closer to God in like this recent part of your life? And then how has he truly impacted like your like decisions and like where you at right now?
Yeah, bro. So I will say that for there's this one saying in the Bible that's like, in order to become wise, you must be a fool first. And nobody wants to be a fool, but there are times where like us as humans, we're just very selfish naturally, which is understandable. People
Hmm.
don't really want to look out for anybody that they don't know. But me getting closer to God and and strengthening my faith was actually off of just endless mistakes that I had made um, during my time at Syracuse. So those are memories that I've like erased out of my mind, but I had done a lot of harm. It wasn't just me. It was obviously it takes two to tango, but
Mm.
I had done a lot of harm and emotionally, and it was something that I had told myself, like, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing. It kind of felt like my vision was foggy. Like I
Mhm.
was just going through life thinking like I could do everything on my own and get through everything like there are a lot of things in this world that we just can't explain. So it's like, why even try to comprehend these things on your own? Because you're just gonna go crazy and make the wrong decision.
Mhm.
So I made a lot of wrong decisions, and it finally hit me when I got to Rochester. I was alone. Like in Syracuse, I always had somebody to hang out with. I could hit up my friends and be like, "Yo, you want to do something?" Boom. 2 minutes later, we're together. But when I was in Rochester, I was living on my own. I was living in like this little dorm they had got like for me, and it was a 3 bed. No, it was a 4 bed, 2 bath, and it was huge. Like I was just in there by myself every day. I didn't know people from Rochester, and I told myself this is a time for me to work, not really make friends.
Mhm.
So I was just, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I was going through it. Like during the day, it'd be nice because the sun is beaming, you can get things done. But at night, naturally we're inclined to want to go out or like hang out with friends or do this, do that. I didn't have that. So like I just sat there and sometimes I would sulk. And that's the worst thing you could do is sulk. Like you can't do that. Um, especially if you have a goal, because then it'll just deter you from your goal.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it was during that time where I just picked up my Bible and I started reading. And I had always been, I mean, I was born a Christian. I'd always believed, but somewhere along the way in undergrad and grad, you kind of just get too involved with like drinking and partying and doing all those things. And in the, how do I say this? Like temporarily, it felt nice. Like you
Mhm.
really empowered. They're messing with you. Like you're having fun, you're doing this. But then at the end of the day, bro, it hurts. Like drinking and getting drunk hurts.
Mhm.
Like messing with people, I'm gonna try and keep this as PG as possible. Messing with people with no emotion, at the end of the day, someone gets hurt.
Yeah.
Feelings get hurt. So
Mhm.
it's just like all this stuff is so temporary. Why am I not seeking something that's forever?
Mhm.
Like at that, like obviously we're all gonna one day die. Like that's how it works. But I don't want to live my life like we were talking about it earlier. We want to live our lives and leave a legacy and like have people know that we accomplished something. I don't want to live my life being known for the dude that drank and partied and did this all the time. Like,
Mhm.
so I picked it up, and long story short, like it transformed me. I went through a lot of breakdowns and hard times, but I don't know. Now I'm at this place where I'm still learning, but my faith is stronger than ever. I've kind of cut out all the things that I used to do, and now I'm just trying to encourage other people, whether or not you're Christian or not. I feel like me encouraging somebody is just uplifting them and hoping that they, at the end of the day, they don't do something that they regret. So,
Yeah, man. That's that real stuff right there. I can tell you from personal experience, like I wouldn't say that first of all, like you said, I've been a Greek Orthodox Christian my whole life. I've been baptized into this when I was like what? I forget when we get baptized in Greek Orthodoxy, but it's early. It's like when I'm a baby.
yeah,
So I've been this way my whole life in terms of God. But I think I was a from second grade to like my senior year of high school, I missed maybe like 3 or 4 Sundays at church, bro.
dang.
I was altar boy. I was there every Sunday, right?
Yeah,
But naturally, when you get older, you kind of stray away when you go to school and you start doing all this, all this stuff in
exactly.
the mix. But my foundations and principles have always stayed the same. That's just who I am. But you go through this type of stuff when you grow up in life. You go
Yeah,
through breakups, you go through like mental like health issues. And 2020 was a year when, just like you said, how you were alone in Rochester, I'm a guy that thrives off of people around me. I love seeing people around me thrive. I love seeing people around me be creative.
yep,
That inspires me. It makes me feel better and it gets me motivated. I'm like,
yep,
okay, I see them doing this. I applaud them and I want them to go better, but I need me to lift myself up too. That's
exactly.
kind of what I do. So in 2020, when I'm stuck in the house for 2+ months, going through a breakup, losing family members to passing away, it's like I'm sitting there and I'm lost. I have no direction. And that's kind of where I really got closer with not only God, but my friends.
Yeah,
I've told the story before, but me and my boys, like when I was going through all these hard times, there was an abandoned Harris Teeter parking lot that we used to go to like I think we started going like May 2020, and like we did it all the way until I went to school in August at VCU.
Hmm.
Um, and we would do it like at least 4 times a week. And we called it the spot. So we all bring like our own chairs. Like we go to the gas station and get snacks, and we sit down in a circle, bro, and just talk. And like lately, I've been seeing a lot more improvement. But before, like when we were in like middle school, high school, you ever think about like, damn, like me going to therapy, like that's weak. Like, you know what I mean? This meant like men talking about that. We don't do that. But my best relationships with my boys, my friends, has always been when I'm able to be 100% open with them. And I feel like not even just separating men and women. That's just like a human thing. You should be able to talk to people about your feelings.
Yeah.
Be able to talk about what's going on. And that, like the spot where we all have our chairs and just circle around for hours and hours, just talk. That is what got me through it, man, for sure. So kind of drawing a parallel to like you being alone by yourself in Rochester to me,
Yeah.
like kind of feeling trapped in COVID. I was like, damn, man, like can't even see my boys, can't even like, go out, live life. And that's how it was. But
Yeah.
made it out, man. Been a happy guy since. And
Happy for you, bro.
that's, where now we doing things that we always dreamed about, like
Yeah.
how me and you, actually you weren't there, but I know you did it too, because you went a week before me, I think, to do a Commanders game, right?
Yeah.
So I was a little kid running up the stairs in the library to go read about the NFL. NFL was my first love.
Yeah.
I love football as a footy. I love footy, but NFL was my first love. And I'm sitting in a room with Ryan Mitchell, Santana Moss, Torrey Smith. Like these are people I grew up watching. It's like,
Yeah.
and Brian Mitchell was a
This is
little before
crazy.
my time, but I mean I knew about him. This is one of the guys. So I'm looking. I was like, damn, man, like I'm really here. But at the same
Yeah.
time, we not there yet. We just at the tip of the iceberg. So that's one thing for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, for sure, God has been a big part of each of our lives, and I definitely respect that about you too, bro. I'm like looking at your Instagram stories, and like, yeah, man, this guy's got his head on straight, man. He knows what he's doing. So,
Finally, it took some time though, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It took a lot. It took a heartbreak too for me. Like we talked about it in that
yeah.
little the cafe. Like even to this day, bro, I still have mad love for that girl.
Mm-hmm.
And but it did take that to finally like break me, to
Mm-hmm.
finally like snap me out of whatever I was in. Like I was in a trance pretty much.
You can get lost,
You
bro.
can get
Trust
lost, bro.
that.
It's so easy to get lost, but it's so easy to find your way. I mean, it's so hard to find your way back.
Mm,
And like it takes like man, it could take 1 day, 2 days. Oh, I don't read my Bible. Oh, I don't pray. Oh, I start doing this. I start doing that, and I'm back into where I was.
mm,
But trying to find your way back, bro, like it took a lot. I was gonna say something about therapy because a lot of my friends have been telling me to go to therapy
mm,
because the way I deal with problems is, I guess, not that healthy. But
mm.
I kind of just let it sit in me. But
Yeah,
dude, the little spot thing you were talking about, man, I wish I had something like that. I
bro.
wish I had something like that because that's just beautiful, bro. Like being able to, because like you said, like men naturally were like, oh, talk about your feelings, go to therapy. Like what? You know, I'm a man, right? Like we don't do that. But man, we go through so much just as men in this society right now because we gotta be the ones that lead the line. We gotta be the ones that provide. We gotta be the ones that this and that. So it's tough. And I commend you and your friends, bro. Like I really wish I mean, my friends are great. I'm not knocking my friends, but I really wish we did something like that too. Um, but yeah, man, we all get through it in our own way.
Mm.
As long as we get to where we want to be, that's all that matters, you know?
Hey, man, the destination is a part of the journey, but
Yeah,
it's where you end up. It's not how you got there.
exactly.
But yeah, man, I feel like with my friends, like with that spot thing, because like I wasn't the only one going through it at that point. It was my other friends were like, "Damn, yeah, I'm going through some of the same shit too." So it was
Yeah,
like we were talking about that, and like we're finding parallels and similarities with our own problems.
yeah,
Like, okay, listen, we come together and like, hey, how do we get over this? How do we fix this? Because I mean, that's just the way I feel like it always should be. Like, I think our generation, especially, like, I think we're gonna be the ones that lead the way in terms of
yes,
getting rid of these stigmas and like
yes,
teaching about God willing, I have a son, like, or
yeah,
even a daughter, same thing. Like, bro, if I have kids, that's beautiful. But
yeah,
like, specifically about this topic, I'm gonna tell my son it's okay to cry. It's okay to have these type of feelings, as
yeah,
long as you just open and as long as you can, rely on someone to find a way out of the hole you're in. It's gonna be okay, man. Like,
yeah.
you live to see another day, man. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So that's why I want to instill in, God willing, like I said, my future family. So
Yeah,
definitely, I feel like those stigmas can be erased for
for
sure.
sure, for sure, for sure. We got to be the ones too, bro, that lead the change. Because right now, things are looking so bleak. But all it takes is one voice, and then that stirs up a mass amount of people, and we instill change, and we change things for the better. Though right now, it seems like everybody has their own agenda, so we
Mhm.
kind of just have to unite and try and fix the problems. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah, man. I did want to get into two topics, but I think we only have time for one. The
Yeah,
other topic that we're not going to get into this episode is the dating scene for people our age.
yeah,
We can definitely talk about that another time for
we
sure.
will for sure, bro.
But
I'm more than excited to talk about that.
to end off this one, wrap it up kind of, real quick. A club that you love near and dear to your heart. Manchester United. Glory, glory United. Cristiano Ronaldo is arguably the greatest footballer of all time. I feel like I've had a lot of United fans on this channel. My best friend Walter, United fan. I had my boy Abdullah from the UK. He's
Mm.
a United fan, and now I have you on the channel. How do you feel about the situation? Do you think he stays the whole year? And do you really think that he's washed, or is it just he's in his own head?
So right now, the situation with Ronaldo, man, I want to give him I want to give him some slack because he's 37, about to be 38. Like this isn't like he's 30 in his prime. Like he's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start backwards. So I don't think he's washed. Me and my dad have been talking about it a lot. We do think his age is clearly showing. Like his age has been showing since last season.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I just feel like he's just so badly out of form. And the fact that he can't even get into the starting 11 for I don't want to say this team is average because it's not. It's above average, but realistically, when you look at it on paper, Ronaldo should be starting every week.
Mm-hmm.
So to have Marcus Rashford start ahead of you, who had a terrible season, to see Martial scoring goals off the bench when you can't even score when you start, like he's definitely going through some mental thing right now. He's like, I'm Cristiano Ronaldo, and I can't score against Ammonia.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely going through something, and obviously that pressure of being, one of the greatest of all time, the age factor plus the confidence is just killing him right now.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, like there's a lot of players on that team that are suffering from a lack of confidence. Like I won't even go into too many, but like one name I can name is Jadon Sancho. Like he's only 21, but he looks like people are calling him washed. And I'm like, how can he be washed when he's 21?
Mm-hmm.
But right now he's just not confident. He don't take players on, none of that. Ronaldo, you can tell that he can't take players on. His legs are shot. So he has to adapt his game. But then when the only part of his game that he has to excel at is finishing, he can't even finish. Bro, like people are saying there's no way he's starting against Everton on Sunday. Everton. Like that's
I mean,
crazy to think.
he hasn't been getting the Premier League minutes like at all
He
this season.
hasn't. He hasn't. And when he does get the chance, he does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't like, dude, he doesn't press. That's one thing that I wanted to mention. He doesn't press. How can you be a modern striker and not press? Like every team presses the ball now. It doesn't even matter if you're a big team or a small team. Like you can't survive, especially in a league like the Premier League, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have some type of press slash counter press, because you will get destroyed. And Man United, we've seen it. They lost to Brighton and they lost to Brentford, and they just lost to Man City, who's like the kings of pressing. So when you have that factor that all in, like I said, the age, dude, he's not washed, but right now he just needs, I don't know what's the word I could use. He needs something to fire him up. He needs to tell himself, like, okay, if I don't score this game, I gotta at least get an assist. I gotta at least contribute on the offensive end, the defensive end. I gotta do something. When you're just walking around moping on the pitch, dude, you're not gonna get any results.
Mm-hmm.
This man missed a 6 yard sitter.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
Like Cristiano Ronaldo,
Yeah.
bro, come on, no way.
Mm-hmm.
So to then move on to the next point, like, I mean, the situation can be saved, but I think he will probably leave in January. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think Manchester United need him at this point, dude. And that's crazy to say because last season without him, we would have finished mid-table,
Yeah.
like actually maybe 11th.
And that's exactly my point.
Yeah,
So last year, he's your player of the year. He wins the Golden Boot for the team.
yeah,
He scored like 18, 20 goals for you
yeah,
last year.
yeah.
So how you were talking earlier about confidence with Sancho, you remember how bad Marcus Rashford was last year, right? I mean, my boy Walter, we have this chat, we have this football chat. I have a couple footy chats, but this one is the one that I talk in the most.
Yeah.
He would run the group chat with just like Shitford, Rashford. Like, I'm sick of him. Like, get him off my team. And I've been a big Marcus Rashford guy ever since he kind of stepped on the scene. I've always supported him. But Villarreal Cup final to, I'll say, the start of this season, you could tell he had no confidence.
Yep.
And especially when he lost the Euro final,
Yep.
that was like a big thing. And there would be spurts, obviously. Like, obviously, some of your talent is going to show whether
Yeah.
you're out of form or not,
Yeah.
because that's what got you there, and plus the work.
Yeah.
But just this year, you see how confident he is. He's taking players on finally, because there was a point where he would never take nobody on, and we'd be like, "Yo, you're one of the fastest guys in the world. You have five like FIFA 5-star
Five-star
skills.
skills.
You can take him on, bro. Like you're backing off from like Johnny Evans, bro. Just take him on,
Take
bro.
them on.
So, and that's the same thing with. First of all, I think Sancho. The people are way too quick to write people
Way
off.
too
Another.
quick.
That's a whole another topic because I literally was talking about this with Darwin Nunez. Like people are
Yeah.
way too quick to be like, yo, washed, bust, shit. Like
Yeah.
they don't give. They think it's FIFA, bro, where you can just plug and play. Like you don't give these players no time to adjust. Like Darwin Nunez has made 4 Premier League appearances. He's made, I think, 2 or 3 Champions League appearances.
Mhm.
He has not played a full 90-minute match in any of those.
Yeah.
And people are sitting here already writing him off. Like, and it's not even just Nunez. You look at transfers around the world.
Yeah.
You look at when Ousmane Dembele was going through all these injuries, when he got booed on the pitch whenever he had the ball in January, February. And just like with me with Rashford, Ousmane Dembele is one of like my top 10 favorite players in the world. I've
Yeah.
always backed him. So whenever I would see him get hurt, I'd be like, damn, man, I know what he can do. And they didn't believe until he comes, what, January, February, he finally starts playing. He finishes leading the team in assists, second in La Liga, 14. I think Benzema had 15 or 16. That was number one. And now he's like the hero. Like without Dembele that year, like last year, Barcelona would have been nothing. Like
Yeah.
he was creating all the chances. He's like you said, pressing the ball at all times, and he's just an ultimate playmaker. And that's what I'm saying. When give these guys are humans first.
Thank
Before
you.
players, you have to give these guys chances, back them. If you're really a fan, back them,
Yeah.
and they will come around. Like we all laugh about Maguire, man, but and obviously he hasn't been good at all.
Yeah.
But you call a bomb threat to his house, like that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Like you gotta remember these are people before anything.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't understand like the consequence of actually being a professional athlete. Like this is not something that, like you said, this is not FIFA. Like this isn't a simulation, dude. Like they put themselves through pain and struggle every day to try and be at the top level. So when a player goes into a bad spurt, so yeah, like with people like Rashford and Dembele, albeit like they were out of form for a year, like like you said, the talent is still there. It's just about the work ethic. Confidence is a huge thing that people don't understand in athletes. Like when I was playing, I mean, I played high school. That was my highest level, but it was still something. And the type of player I was, I could take people on. I was really fast. I could dribble. I couldn't really shoot. I could pass. I could cross. Like I had everything except shooting for a winger. And if I missed a sitter, dude, my confidence would go all the way to zero. And it would seem like I'm the worst player on the field. And it's like because you have all that pressure on you, your teammates are looking at you, the fans, so like, I don't know, people, like you said, people need to understand that these guys are human and just take it easy.
That's why you got to be a mentality monster to be successful in any sport for
Yeah.
sure. But Toluwa, man, we'll wrap up now. Thank you so much, man. Is there anything? The floor is yours. For this last part, you want to say anything to the camera? Promote yourself, promote your boys. Anybody? Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, just like with some of the conversations we were having today, like I feel like a part of me, I was put on this earth to try and help people. And ever since I was born, people would ask me like, "What do you want to do in life?" And like, yeah, I would say I want to be a sports broadcaster or this and that. But I always used to say, sometimes I used to say it not even from myself. Like I feel like it was something else. I always used to say I want to help people. So like I kind of want to just encourage everybody to be the best versions that they can. And even when somebody does you wrong, because bro, I've been tested recently. Like people have been testing my patience.
Hmm.
And all I've been doing is just thinking to myself, like, all right, what would Jesus do? Like, what would he do in this situation? And every time I remain calm, you know who wins in the end? Me. Because they end up looking stupid. And I'm just like, all right, you know what? Like, you do you.
Hmm.
So I just want people to know that. And always, I feel like for me, um, friendships are huge, dude. Like you said, with like your friends in the spot, like, man, friendships to me are more important than anything, I feel like. Um, because without friends, without family, without that companionship, bro, we are not supposed to be alone for too long. And when we are alone, then we dive into deep thoughts and bad thoughts. But man, if you have a friend, a real friend, cherish that mofo, bro. I have not a lot. I have a lot of people I know, but I only have a small group of people that I will tell things to. And those are the people that I trust with everything. And man, they've gotten me through more than I could even imagine. So that's like something I just want to spread and just, I guess, it's cliche to say peace and love, but honestly, peace and love to everybody. Because right now, everybody's going through a hard time. When I was in the mud, I used to think, oh, I'm the only one going through this. No, bro. People just don't say it. People don't broadcast how they're feeling. They make it seem like they're doing well through Instagram and all that. But
Yeah.
just peace and love to everybody. And I hope I can encourage as many people as I can and through my through journalism and through whatever. So
Hey, bro. First of all, I need to have you back on the channel for
for
sure.
sure,
A lot more to talk about.
for sure.
Thank you for coming on, man. Peace and
Thank
love.
you.
Hey, cliches. They only say it's a cliche because it's true.
Yep.
Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Toluwa. This is Yanni Sports Nation. Signing out.
From around town, innit? Oh, you with them man, innit? Oh, you a bad man, wicked. Oh, you been new here, see me.